Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Imagine you take someone who's never been swimming before and you give them like, a 2-page document. It's like how to swim. So step 1, get in the water and, lie flat. I don't know. You just give them like 2 pages of instructions. You tell them read it over. Next day you take them to the pool, throw them in the deep end. What happens? They're going to drown. Sometimes when people talk to me about learning the maqamat, or they say they're interested in learning the maqamat, they're looking for exactly the same thing. They're looking for 2 pages, instructions that will tell them how to recite a certain maqam, and they expect that, soon after they should be able to recite in that maqam. The reality is that, reciting is much like a skill, like riding a bicycle or swimming or something of this sort, that takes time to develop through practice. There's things you can learn on the academic side of things, but you still have to practice. And in the case of recitation, you need to listen, and listen more. I mentioned before in our maqamat video series that, listening is kind of like a workout for your ears. The more you listen, the more you strengthen your ear muscles, if you want to call it that. A lot of times people listen when they're trying to learn the maqamat to these short clips. 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here. Here's an example of maqam nahawan. Here's an example of maqam, sika. And when you do that, it'll help in terms of isolating or figuring out what exactly is the pattern for nahawan or sika. But as someone that wants to learn recitation, you need to take time to practice listening to full-length mujawwid recitation, sometimes 45 minutes, an hour, and so on, and do this with frequency. And eventually, you'll be like someone who can swim, who's practiced, and not just someone who's read a sheet of paper. This is what the maqam pattern is, and then you're thrown in the deep end. And take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.